super excited for tonight's show. Hey, do you know what your core values are? No? Do you know that they really affect not only your professional life, but your personal life? And here's a good question for you. Do you know what the most powerful word that you need to know for both your personal and professional life? It's a really small word, but it's very powerful. And when you say this word, you open up limitless opportunities, right,
Absolutely, yes. So that
Okay,
word,
we're going to
like,
get to that in just a minute. But first, hi everyone, I'm Fain Brandt, the host for this show, Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs. Thank you for joining me tonight. You can find me here the first and third Wednesdays of the night, usually at 7 p.m., but tonight, because our world traveler is traveling the world, we're doing a special edition at 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So tonight, you guys, I'm so excited to have you on the show. I have Addyson-Zhang with Classroom Without Walls and the host of her own weekly live show because she's got it all together. I could not do a weekly show, so high five to you, I has been featured in Forbes, Entrepreneur. She travels the world, and literally, you guys, we have set this show up. We were supposed to do it a few months ago, but her travel schedule, her international travel schedule, is so crazy that we had to reschedule. And I'm just really honored that she took the time out of her busy schedule to be on my little Facebook show here, Bite-Sized Tips for Busy Entrepreneurs. So you guys, drop some love, give her some hearts, hearts and thumbs up. Let us know. Yes, we're still live.
okay, because you were frozen for a few seconds. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so you guys, let us know that the technology is working because we both know how that happens, that technology freezes up. Everything is plugged in. I'm double checking. But I would love to know that, everything is working here because, as we all know, we're dependent upon technology, but it doesn't always work. And you guys, if you know someone who really needs to watch this show tonight, just hit that little share button down there. Go ahead, hit that share button and broadcast this live episode out. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, you guys, if you're watching the replay, I promise to go back and comment and answer your questions. So just do #replay and let us know, and we will go back in after the show, even tomorrow, and answer your questions and comments. So you guys know I always like to start with where I've met my guest. So I met at Social Media Marketing World, one of our favorite conferences, right?
Yes, yeah. I just love it when you say I and I.
I know. I was like, how else do I say that? I was like, it's I and
It's
I.
cute.
I and I are hanging out at Social Media Marketing World. We were both volunteering, and her energy is just like you're always smiling. You're just so positive, so just fun to be around. And so
Oh,
this year, I said, I just want a few minutes. We were on social media, and I was like, I just want to say hi to you and just kind of chat with you. And I was hoping to get to know you a little better, which I did. And then I was like, hey, I need to have you as a guest on my show because you've got a story to tell. You've got such heart, such hustle, such soul, because you are this international traveler, a wife, and a mother to two boys. Two boys, right? And I'm just like,
two
how?
boys, yeah, 5 and 8.
Oh my gosh! Like, I can't even imagine what that house is like, and just running around. Like, they have so much energy, I'm sure. So yeah, so we met at Social Media Marketing World, and we have some common friends, right? Some mutual friends. Um,
Yeah, quite a lot, yeah.
Quite a lot, actually. Yeah. So we just sat down and I asked her to be on the show, and she's going to be sharing three. You guys know. Wait, let me do that. You guys know that I always like to have three points that we're going to touch on. The first one is the most powerful word, which is no. If you can learn how to and master how to say no, then you can say yes to more things that will serve you. The second topic that we're going to cover tonight is understanding who you are and your core values and how your professional life really should align with your core values. And the third topic is focusing on quality more than anything else. So while I check on technology and make sure that everything's working, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your background, and how you got started.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn here right now. I saw Rob, Brian, Showman, Rob Balasabas. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. So, my full-time job is a college professor. So I have been working in higher education for 10 years. But my social media journey started about 5 years ago when I discovered we have way too many educators who are just educators. What I mean by that is our educators also need to be practitioners. We have way too many teachers who just teach by the book. So I used to be one of those teachers who are just teaching by the book. And I noticed that my students, they were not really learning the necessary skills, digital literacy, all those important skills that they need to succeed in the 21st century. And the funny part was I was talking about those things in the classroom, but my students were like 1 year in, 1 year out. So I really took that kind of, situation personally. And I discovered it was because of me, because I was mainly talking. So I told my students, I also promised myself, I'm going to show my students the power of social media by finally walking the talk. So I started my social media journey on Twitter. I started using Twitter, hashtag, all those things. And slowly I expanded to other social media platforms. And 2 years ago, I launched like yeah, a little bit 2 years ago. And I launched my own live streaming show. As Mary mentioned, Classroom Without Walls. When I launched that show, my only goal was trying to be a better teacher. I was trying to show my students, hey guys, in this day and age, you don't have to come to the classroom to learn. That's why I launched the show because I was teaching social media, personal branding classes at my school. So my show is about social media and digital marketing. So I bring in guest speakers to talk about social media and digital marketing and to share with my friends, with my students. So that was the only purpose for me to launch the show. But very interestingly, and the more I am on social media, the more content I share, especially after launching my show, the more social media is actually changing my career and even my personal life. So this year, after the spring semester, I just resigned from my job. So right now I'm building my
Yay!
own school. Happy days!
So you
So
really
I just
started your whole show just to be a better teacher and
exactly
to
to really
just to
walk the
bring
talk.
it to your students, right? Just to like
Yeah,
share
to
with your
help them,
students.
to help students, to help other educators so that they can see the power of social media. That was it. I was never ever thinking about, like quitting my job, building my own school, becoming a speaker, doing this and that. Never ever.
That's
But
pretty
now, like
amazing.
really,
So that kind of just goes to show you guys the power of live video. And
no, totally,
yeah, Rob
totally.
is going
And
to be coming on.
um,
Just a little plug for Rob. He's going to be a guest
he's,
in
he's
September.
amazing.
And I'll just say that, Rob, I think we decided our topic is live video. So that's going to be amazing. I didn't know that you started this journey just to be a better teacher and to provide more resources, really, to open up the eyes of your students. And it's turned into this career.
Oh yeah, totally. Now I have lots of people asking me how to go live, and I'm also thinking about having a course. Mainly, but people reach out to me are I have some social media people, but mainly people in the education space. So I think that is kind of my space. I think you need kind of a special space for your own like expertise. We have so many social media digital
Yep.
marketers. That's good. I think if you can have kind of a special field that you can help others to utilize what you know, I think that can really help you become known a little bit faster than comparing and competing with
Oh, yeah.
so many others who are kind of doing similar things. So my space is really in the education space. Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I love
But
it.
yeah, yeah. But like I just feel so thankful for this entire journey, and now like almost like every week, people give me shout outs on different social media channels, on different publications.
You're pretty
And I
darn
just feel
popular.
so,
You're pretty
oh,
darn
come on, you are
popular. I was
too.
like, I get to have I on my show. Oh my gosh. No, you're like super, super popular because you are so authentic and you have such a powerful message to get out. And you know what I noticed about you, you're always so supportive of everyone that you meet. You're very
Oh,
supportive, very encouraging, and just kind of happy go lucky, which, you know, having your own business, we were talking about this before the show, is that being an entrepreneur, we're here, we're smiling, right? Everything's great, but behind, we're like pulling our hair out, being like, oh my gosh, technology's not working today, or hey, that lead magnet failed. So I feel like you're just a wonderful human being to.
I don't know if you can see this. This was literally a video of me crying, talking about being authentic because you and I were just talking about it. It's like, I feel embarrassed to show this, but you can kind of see it. This was a 20-second video of me. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm doing this big launch. I have no idea. But yeah, so it's like I try to. I think people can relate. Like, it is
Yeah,
very interesting. Every time when I allow myself to be vulnerable, and I have this better connection with my audience. I truly believe
absolutely.
vulnerability creates connectivity.
Yep. Well, hey, let's dive into our first of three topics. Let's talk about the most powerful word that you need to master. The word is no. And we were talking about this just like, and so some of you guys that have been following me, you know that I was doing hashtag FOMO, fear of missing out, because I had to say no to going to VidCon, and a lot
Oh, we miss you.
and a lot of my besties were there, and my colleagues and my friends, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I so want to go. And I had some close colleagues and friends tell me, no, Mary, no, you have to say no, because it opened up opportunity for me to finish my course and to actually launch my course. So it's hard to say no for a lot of different reasons. I know for someone who's an extrovert like me, and I have FOMO. I
True.
don't want to miss out on anything. So I always want to, and I love conferences, right? So
I
how
love
did,
learning, conferences, socializing. Oh, totally. Yeah.
yeah, so how do you, why is no such a powerful word? And how do we learn to say no confidently? How do we learn to say no and feel good about it?
First of all, I don't want to say that I'm really good at this. I definitely struggle with this as well, to be honest, because, like you shared, I just trying to be really nice because I always remember in the beginning of my, like, for example, live streaming journey, and I wanted to reach out to people, but at the same time, I had a very, 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 very small brand. I was like, will this person say yes to me? And I will never forget when Mark Schaefer said yes to me to be on my show. It was such a big deal because, he's here and I was like there. That was like
Yeah.
at the very beginning of my live streaming journey. He came to my show again this year, but that was at the very beginning. So I always remember those feelings and days, when I was like not there yet, trying to reach out to people. So I know like sometimes when you hear no, I like, as from the audience perspective, the receiver's perspective, it is like really can be a lot. But at the same time, and sometimes my husband and I have this conversation, and I told him like I'm afraid of hurting other people's feelings. But my husband said, no, but you are doing your show. You are really sharing this valuable content with your community. And if you say yes to all those people, then you are actually saying no to people in your community by doing them a disservice. Because we all agree, right? You have a full-time job. I used to have one, but we all have so many things to do. I have young children, and we only have a limited amount of hours. When we say yes to this thing, means that we're saying no to another thing. So really about prioritizing.
Right.
So I'm learning. I don't want to say that I totally figured this out myself. I'm learning from you and from everyone in the live audience. And I think this is an ongoing journey and learning how to
Absolutely.
say it and also see the bigger picture. I really, for me, hosting my show to make sure the content is good, preparing
Right.
good questions. That is how I'm serving my community. And that involves me saying no to a few other things. And I just need to be okay with that. FOMO, I learned to accept it.
Well, and we were talking before the show, and someone told me this like years ago. Saying no allows you to say yes to yourself, right? Because we have to take care of ourselves. And you should never feel guilty saying no to a friend. I can't go to lunch, I can't go to dinner, or I can't go do that because you want your downtime. So you don't have to be busy to say no. So your calendar doesn't have to be booked in order for you to tell someone no. That's tip number one. Tip number two is instead of saying yes to everything, which is kind of what I used to do, yes, 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 it's saying, hey, that sounds like a great opportunity, or hey, that sounds a lot of fun, but you know what? I need to check my calendar. There's nothing wrong with that. Or, sometimes I'll say, oh, let me check with my husband. Let me make sure we don't have any plans. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to pause, right? And actually think and go, let me see. Why that event sounds really fun. Do I want to spend 4 hours there? Or is there something that I'd rather be doing or need to be doing? So I think just allowing yourself to say like, hey, let me check my calendar.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
a powerful tool.
Totally. And also, we were also talking about this. When I started my social media journey, many of you can probably relate. We were trying so hard to have so many followers, to be popular. But what I learned? That is totally a vanity metric.
Yes.
And like how many of us can actually deposit our fame into a bank? Nobody can ever do that, right? So I think it is one thing that like we need an active social media presence. I totally agree. Very important. But on the other hand, we also need to make sure to have a solid program, a product, a service, an online course, whatever you do, that you can actually offer to people so that you can leverage all those amazing connections that have come to your way. So that is something I truly learned. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also regarding, having, 10,000 followers, that's the number on Instagram. I'm hardly active on Instagram, and I'm fine with that. It's a place for me to go and look at pictures usually, that and Pinterest. But it's more important, to create relationships and to nurture those
Exactly.
relationships, because those people will become your fans and your followers and your influencers, and they'll be there for you. You'll have a small community that's always there for you, but then you have that larger community that's looking at you as the expert in your field, that's looking at you for the resources, right? So I have found that everything I do is organic. People, so you guys know my jam is LinkedIn, right? And people are always like, oh, do you automate? Do you use one of those programs? I'm like, no, there's a lot of reasons I don't. One, and there's a place and time to automate. There are certain things by all means that you should automate. But sending someone a connection request and not personalizing it is not where you should automate. Sending someone, a thank you for connecting, like try to personalize that. Like, hey, thanks for, endorsing me for those skills. Hey, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? How can we collaborate? I always personalize my message. Well, not always, 89% of the time, right? I personalize my message because you're getting at a higher response rate, and you're actually showing the person that you care enough to actually personalize
so
that.
true, so true. Yeah, so I do love doing video content a lot, and I actually developed some really good, meaningful connections. Like, for example, last year I wrote a workbook for HubSpot, their social media certification, like 35 pages. And so they actually, the person she discovered me through Twitter. So she and I first connected on Twitter. And I was like, wow, you are from HubSpot. I'm a huge fan. So I just did a quick video. I said, hey, Crystal, thank you so much for following me on Twitter. I love you guys. And have a great day. Like 10 seconds.
Right.
And to this day, we are still collaborating. So she's working on another Twitter course for HubSpot, and I just did a bunch of videos for her for the course. It is amazing. Here's another quick story. So there's this one guy who joined my show, and he's from Nigeria, and I was like, thank you so much for joining my show. It is so late. I think it's like midnight or 1 a.m. So I genuinely, I want to thank him for staying up so late to watch my show. So I just did a quick video. I was like, hey, thank you. Probably like 9 seconds or 20 seconds. And, uh, and so what happened after that totally blew my mind away. So he was so touched. So for 30 days in a row, every single day, he gave me a shout out.
Every day?
That was every single day. That was so crazy. That was like slowly I truly discovered the
Just for
power.
saying thank you.
Yeah, just for saying thank you. Genuinely thank people. And I truly discovered the power of when other people are talking about you. It is so good. And but again, you have to do some work to get there. And but I think you just have to be authentic. I really don't thank people because I'm looking for something in return. Just like, I share with you, I'm a very emotional, spontaneous person. So when there's this rush of emotion, I just feel so thankful, literally from the bottom of my heart. I have to let it out. So I just want to thank those people, and then yeah, and also leveraging video,
Yeah.
and I think that have helped me a lot. Yeah.
You're pretty powerful on video. Well, okay, guys. So if anyone has any questions, I am trying to monitor questions over here on LinkedIn because unfortunately the technology that we're using, which is fabulous, I love eCam and Restream, but you can't actually see the comments on LinkedIn. So I am trying to go over onto my phone and I'm trying to look at all the people because we have quite a few people on. Maureen Wixon says, great guest, you're rocking it. Great tips, Mary. We have Laura Torres on. Rob was on. Brian was on. Gidget's on. She says, lots of hats, less, yes, room when you say no. So I think we covered that, learning to say no is really powerful. So I want to challenge you all this week to say no to one thing. And then I want you to acknowledge that you say no and put it in the comments. You can put it on Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever you're watching from. Let's talk next about core values, which I think a lot of people struggle with understanding what their own core values are. They're not your parents, they're not your sisters, they're not your bosses. You need to understand what your core values are and what they mean to you because they really intertwine with your personal and your professional life. I know for me, one thing that is so valuable to me and my close friends and stuff know that is my time. Like, I will give you my last $20, but if you don't mess with my time, like that's something that I value because I can't make more time. I can't get more time, right? So if I have someone stand me up or really super late, that is something that really bothers me. That on authenticity. I don't like it when it bothers me when someone says, hi, yeah, everything's great. I had a boss do that at my old job. She's like, yeah, everything's great. And then behind my back, she was telling someone about something that had happened. And I was like, I just asked her if everything was okay. And she was like, yes. So authenticity is super important to me. And so is time. How about you, What are some of your core values?
So I think something I really value is have a deep understanding of who you are, understanding yourself, self-awareness. So I can share with you, originally I'm from China. So I came to the US in my early 20s to pursue, I went to Syracuse, University of Maryland, got my degrees. And, um, and the me many years ago and the me today are completely different. And the me when I was in my early 20s was a result of social expectation from my parents, from the society, from the educational
Right.
system. And I got my degrees, I did this and did that, I got my PhD, I started teaching. But you know what? I was not happy. I was not happy. And today, and I was just sharing with Mary before we started the show, I'm literally obsessed with building my own school, doing what I do. And every day, you saw the quick video I showed you of me kind of crying. And even in front of moments like that, I can still keep going. It is really because what I do right now, transforming education, is aligned with who I am, my authentic self. And when you have that alignment, nothing, nothing can stop you. And I truly believe if we want to master our life, we have to truly master this inner self, who we what is really important to you. And to me, that journey, it is very challenging, but you really have to do the work. And once you have that alignment every single day, you will be on fire.
Well,
And
I also
it's
think that
such a great feeling.
you hit something so important is that your core values probably change as you get older, right? At
Oh,
13, what
totally.
was your core value compared to at 20 and then at 30 and then you become a mother, your core values might change a little more. And I think as we go through life, we learn so much more. Like I didn't realize that authenticity was such an important core value of who I am. That's why I always say, you guys, who you see online is who you get in life. I don't change. I am the same person. This is who I am. I'm fun and fabulous. No, I'm casual and conversational, right? But this is who I
Yeah.
am. And I feel like some people put themselves out on social media or on live like all prim and proper. And we try to, like, we want to be professional, but that doesn't mean that we can't laugh and joke. And we make mistakes, and we
Exactly.
need to laugh at ourselves.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I think that's
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
true. Authenticity, and then life experiences, right? What we experience
Oh,
in life.
totally. Yeah. 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 And just like take action, like so many of us, we feel like, we have to be so prepared to do anything. And what I learned from my experience is actually the process of taking action helps me be closer to perfection, which doesn't really exist. But you really have to start taking action. Action gives me clarity, action gives me confidence, and gives me momentum. I'm really thankful for just like taking action. Like I shared with you, when I started my live stream, and so many things, I had no idea what I was doing, but I just felt like I want to do this. But I didn't really understand. But as I'm embarking on this journey, the journey is actually informing me, hey, the road is actually revealing to me.
So, how many people get stuck and they don't take action? Raise your hand. Hello, me. Because you know what I didn't do? I didn't launch my course because I was scared. Like, I didn't take action. So, you know what? I love that point, I that taking action builds your confidence. It pushes past your fear, and you learn from it. I'm learning a lot from launching this course. It's a lot more work than I thought. Totally gonna pay off. And you know what? I'm doing it. So I am learning
Really.
every day. I'm learning something new about launching a course.
Exactly. And yeah, and you and I were talking about this. So nowadays, I just turned 40 and I promised
Woohoo!
myself that I'm going to make decisions from this point forward that excite me and scare me at the same time because I truly believe magic happens outside of our comfort zone because the major transformations all happened in my life as a result of being outside of my comfort zone.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely, because you just get more confident and less fearful. So, you guys, if you have any questions about core values, I'm sure we can put some links in there. If you maybe there's some exercises if you're still not clear on what your core values are. I think that one of the things you should do, just as a person, is you should really understand what your core values are. Read more
Yeah,
about
I
them,
just
write them down, honor them. You know what? And your core values or no one else's, you guys. I want you to own your core values. Be proud of them and just let that sink in. And so our third topic tonight, and did you have something else to say about core values?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even actually mention my core, but I just talked about this process of discovering. So for me, as I'm on this journey, I discover freedom. Freedom is very, very important to me. I
Yeah.
love the freedom to think, to create. I was just sharing with you, I'm a very spontaneous person. I actually hate to have structure in my personal life. And so it's very hard for me to implement something like a content calendar. Sometimes I don't even feel like it. But anyway, so I discover freedom. That's why I resigned from my job. I'm building my own school. I don't want to work for anyone. So that is very important to me. The ability and freedom and autonomy to
Yeah.
do what I want, what I love, how I want to do it is very important to me. So that's why I'm on this journey. This journey is for me. We
Yep.
like
The journey's
perfect
it's
match.
your journey, no one else's. So we have some comments on LinkedIn, and I was just gonna read them. The core value thing really hit some. it hit home with people. So Maureen says kindness and honesty are top needs to be trustworthy. Dan says that's one reason why you have such a loyal group is because we recognize, I can't read the whole thing, because we recognize that few people, are as authentic as Mary. Aw, thank you, Dan. That means the world to me that who I want to be is who I am, and it's coming across to my audience. Maureen said, fabulous. I am who I am. That's fun. So, yeah, we're getting a lot of comments here, you guys. Thank you. Keep them coming. Thank you for joining us. If you guys have any questions, let us know. And I think we're going to go to topic number 3, which I think I struggle with this, or I struggled with it when I started. And we're going to talk about quality versus quantity. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And this is where that time thing is like really personal to me. For a lot of different reasons. I had a bad marriage, so I feel like I wasted 10 years of my life. My mom passed away. So like, I think after my mom passed away, that time thing became even more ingrained in me because I was fortunate enough, that's when I started my journey as an entrepreneur, to be able to like take care of her. And then when she went into that nursing home, to go and visit her all the time. But you can't get more time. You can't make more time. You can't buy more time. You know what? You can lose weight. You can learn how to play golf. You can learn how to play the piano. You can start a business. You know, you can learn Spanish. You can make more money, right? You can always make more money, but you can't get more time. So let's talk about this quality versus quantity. What do you want to talk about, and what top tips do you have for our audience tonight?
Yeah, like you, for me, everything grows kind of organically, and I host a weekly live streaming show. So one question I got asked a lot from people who come to me for coaching, things like that, which is how often should I go live? But I always ask them, like, that is not the key question
Right?
here. So the key is exactly is to really think, like, doesn't matter how many times you go live a week, a month, but how often can you go live at the same time maintain the quality of your show? So for me, to maintain the quality of my show, my frequency is a weekly basis. But for some other people, maybe this is their full-time job. They really want to grow the show or monetize, whatever. Right? So different people have different frequency. So we should really think, like, how can I maintain the quality of my show and go from there to pick up a frequency that will make sure the show is good. And so if you go live on a daily basis, which is great frequency wise, but if your content is not that good, people are still not going to watch your show or stay with you. They may check it out here and there, but not consistently.
And I think that people think, oh, I have to be everywhere. So when I first started my business, I didn't know anything about social media really, except from a user end. And I was like, oh, I have to be on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and I have to post every day. And I was driving myself bonkers trying to find things to post, and I was posting things that weren't relevant to what I was doing because I just thought I needed to post. So that quality versus quantity, I have re-honed what I've done over the last 2 years. And even in some Facebook groups that I'm in, they do a daily post Monday through Friday, and it drives me batty because I'm like, I don't want to see Monday this and a Tuesday Twitter and a wacky Wednesday. Like, it drives me batty. So when I started my own Facebook group, the LinkedIn Bakery, I'm like, I'm not posting every day. I'm posting when it's relevant because it's about quality and it's not about quantity. So same thing with your live show. You go every week. I can't do every week. That doesn't work for my schedule, right?
Exactly. And at the same time, you shouldn't force yourself to go live on a weekly basis. That means that you are going to reduce the quality.
And then crazy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I was just like, people. Even today, we're talking about this and just talking about how much noise on my own show. So how much noise there is out there in the social media space. But I think if every single person is making an effort to make sure we are only producing high quality content, So I think that can reduce the noise a lot. Sometimes I just feel like social media is just too much. I'm actually doing a better job at kind of unplugging, and my FOMO has reduced significantly over the past year or so, especially when I have to do deep work. I'm sure for you launching a course, producing course, you just have to focus. I learned this when I was trying to ask some people to be on my show, especially people who are like authors who are really productive in terms of producing content. Like I learned this concept of content fast. So I'd love to be on your show.
What was that again?
Fast.
Fast.
FAST. Fast.
Okay.
So they were like, you know what, I'd love to be on your show, but I'm actually doing a content fast because I'm working on a book. I couldn't be on your show, so you can book me later. I just love that concept so much.
I'm
I think
up right now for our viewers. So, because I think that is amazing.
Yeah, like I think there has to be a balance between input and output. So if you are only receiving and consuming, I'm not sure about you, Mary, and anyone joining us live. So for me, on the days when I was consuming so much, I couldn't produce anything because I felt like I'm all over the place, so scattered, so exhausted. I was on this person's agenda, on that person's agenda. I couldn't have any output. So once I stopped that,
it takes your energy, right? When you're
exactly so much energy.
When I'm on other podcasts and stuff, I'm preparing for that podcast. I'm promoting that podcast because I want people to tune in and hear me. And then I'm on for an hour, and then I'm answering questions, and then there's follow up. I'm like, it takes a lot of energy. So, and they talk about what do they call it? The rabbit hole on Facebook. You go down the rabbit hole because you're on Facebook.
True.
And I'm like, I spend so much time, like my thumb hurts, right? I'm like, why am I on my phone so much? So I think it's important.
So true.
It's important to really think about the
quality.
Like
the other day, I think it was Tuesday, I was on one podcast interview that lasted like 2 hours. Now I had another interview which is like 1 hour. And by the time of like 1 p.m., I was like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I couldn't do anything. I haven't even done any work for myself. So I so agree, it takes like really like lots of energy, yes.
And I also think you have to make sure that you're spending your time on the right platforms, on the right podcast, the right Facebook Live show. I had a conversation this morning with a woman, and it just wasn't the right fit. Did I want to maybe be on that podcast? Yeah, but it wasn't the right fit. So I
goes back to what we said earlier, learn to say no. You really have to sometimes say no so you can have enough output to move your business forward. So we should always ask ourselves, why do we even want to be on social media in the first place, right? So all of us, we probably have a business. We have a bigger goal than just being here. Hey, what do you have for dinner today? There's a lot more than that.
Yeah, I think you said something profound there. Why are we on social media? So if you guys are on there just to waste your time, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you're on social media with a purpose, do you have a plan? How much time are you spending? Are you posting quality content? Or are you just posting to post? So what is your intent or your goal for being on social media? I mean, for us, it's increasing our credibility and visibility. And, for me, obviously, attracting the right clients to work with.
Yeah, I also want to encourage everyone joining us live or watching the replay to really carve out some time on your day-to-day life to really start producing some long-form quality content. Like the first year or so on my social media journey, I was chasing after all the shiny objects, this, that. My brand didn't grow that much at all, a little bit. But the last 2 years, I really started to make an effort to produce long-form quality content. And my brand has grown a lot.
So your long-form quality content, is that written, video? Why don't you
I do both. I do both. I started actually blogging. I was blogging on a daily basis for quite some time on Medium. Now I earned a top writer status. And in social media and in education, but I stopped, so you lose that status. So I stopped and then I lost the status. But it's okay. But that's one. Even today, I don't blog that much, and my articles are still bringing traffic. to my email list, which is great. So that to me is a long form content. And my live stream show also, and writing articles on LinkedIn or like really meaningful posts on LinkedIn, on different social media channels. And yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. So you guys, we've covered some great content tonight, quality content. So our first topic that I shared with us is no. The most powerful word that you need to learn and to master. You need to say no so you can say yes to yourself or other opportunities that are really more in line with where you're at in your life or in your business. So learn to say no, and we are challenging you this week to say no to one thing and then post that and tag us so we can congratulate you on that, right? We want to support you guys. So tell us what you're going to say no to. The second thing we talked about is your core values. And I hope that you all know what your core values are. And if not, or maybe you just haven't thought about them for a while, why don't you write down what your top 3 core values are? Just write them down, put it next to your bed, in your wallet, your purse, whatever, and just kind of think about that and make sure that what you're doing is aligning with your core values. If you work a full-time job, why don't you check that and make sure that your job is aligned with your core values? If you have a business, right? Are you aligned with your core values in your business? I know that being authentic and my time, and my third thing is giving back. So for those that you don't know, that 2% of all sales, not profits, they go to the Alzheimer's Association San Diego. So giving back is part of my DNA, and that is a core value of mine. And then the third thing that we talked about was quality versus quantity. Quit going down the rabbit hole. Quit trying to compare yourself. Quit trying to do what everyone else is doing. You just be you, and make sure that you're producing quality content. Yes, quality, not quantity. I thought I said that backwards for a minute.
No, I did it right.
Is there anything else that you want to share right now? I know that we've got some comments on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we'll go back afterwards. But is there anything else that you want to wrap up? Tell people like where to find you. What's your next adventure? What country are you going to be in next? Because I need a map, a wall map, and just put pins on it of everywhere you've been.
How many times have we tried to schedule this interview? I don't even know. I feel so bad. Yeah. So tomorrow, I'm right now in Philadelphia, but tomorrow I'm going to New York City and for a conference. And then on Saturday, I'm actually flying out to China and then to Singapore. Yeah, so I think I shared earlier, I'm building my own school.
I
Yes.
love it.
And right, like how we talk, you really have to start believing in yourself, seriously. And I noticed once I start believing in myself and treat myself like worthy, like, I deserve this, I'm worthy, like I'm good enough. And I really started to see changes in my external life, like I truly believe everything happens inside, it's an inside out journey becoming an entrepreneur. But anyway, so I'm doing this 2-week immersion program in Singapore to cultivate students' entrepreneurship. So really, really excited. We have speakers coming in from US, from some nearby countries in Singapore. We'll be learning about digital storytelling, personal branding, financial literacy, emotional intelligence, and visiting startup companies in Singapore. And the students this is for high school and college students, they can also earn college credits that can be transferred back to their home school in the United States and outside the US. And some other perks, they can also have access to LinkedIn Learning for a year for free, and do an Adobe certification exam for free, do another entrepreneurship and small business certification for free.
I love that you're doing that. So I definitely want to support you in this adventure, in this new wing of your business that you're doing. So definitely let me know how I can help you in any way, because I'm a huge fan of education. I didn't go back to college until later in life. So I went back like when I was 38 to get my first degree, and then went on to get my master's. I don't have a PhD like you, but if someone else would pay me for my PhD, I'd go back to school. I love learning, and I think that everyone should be given the opportunity to learn on whatever platform, and high school, college, whatever that is. So let me know how I can support you there. When's your next show? How can people find you? Where should they tune in,
So I go live on every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. GMT British time. And I talk about social media, digital marketing. And so you can join me live on
Sweet.
LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Periscope / Twitter,
Oh my gosh.
and on YouTube.
You're everywhere.
So I go live.
Wow.
I am actually everywhere. It is actually a lot. I don't recommend anyone, like, if you are just starting out on this journey,
No.
trying to go live, it is a lot. So start with one,
Yeah,
and
start
then
with
try
one.
to go live.
Don't go on multiple platforms. Well, hang on just a moment here. Thank you so much, but hang on just a moment. You guys, I just want to say thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you tuning in and for sharing this video, this live. Go ahead and share the replay if you're watching the replay. And don't forget to tune in on Monday mornings at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for your 7 minutes of motivation to get your week started. We talk about different things, usually not LinkedIn related. It's really more being motivated in life and your business. If there's a topic that you want me to touch on, please drop that in the comments. And then, as I mentioned before, my Facebook Live show is on Wednesday nights, bite-sized tips for busy entrepreneurs, the first and third Wednesdays of the month. And on August 21st at 6:30 p.m., I'm going to have special guest, Sones Stevens, who's joining us from Japan, I believe, because she's another world traveler.
Wow.
Yeah, she's amazing. And she's going to be sharing some juicy tips on how to get booked to become a TEDx speaker. She is a TEDx speaker and coach, so I've worked with her before. We went through a different course together, so I've been in her online course, and she is amazing. I cannot wait to have her on my show. And you guys, finally, if you're ready to turn your LinkedIn profile into a lead magnet and attract your ideal clients, I have 2 opportunities. Well, actually 3. You can work with me one-on-one. Drop me a note. I'll send you some information. We can do a consultation call. Or you can join my free webinar on August 29th at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a 1-hour free webinar. I'm going to give away some of my top strategies and tips. And I have a special for you guys that are join and that you stay on. I have an online course launching September 23rd with around $1,200 of bonuses. I was telling all about this before we went on, and it is so amazing. I am really proud of this. I've said no to other things like VidCom so that I can launch this course, and it is going to be a game changer. So hit me up. Tell me how you want to leverage LinkedIn. What are you doing? Are you getting leads? I get over 50% of some of my coaching clients through LinkedIn alone with no paid advertising, you guys. No paid advertising. So there we go. I just want to thank you again from the bottom of my heart for taking time out and sharing the powerful word no, talking about our core values and quality versus quantity. And I can't wait to see you in person. I don't know when that's going to be. Probably next year at Social Media Marketing World.
Are you heading to inbound? No. In Boston. Okay, too far.
Yeah, too far. And right now, my word is no, because I have the webinar and the course launch.
Love it.
And I have another course coming out in January for job seekers. That is specifically for job seekers on how to market yourself as a job seeker on LinkedIn. So my word is no, no, and no, so that I can honor myself and get some things done that have been on my plate.
Love it. Yeah.
So,
that's great. Yeah, I love it.
I'm excited. I'm excited for your 2-week immersion program. So again, let me know how I can support you. And guys, thank you for tuning in. That's all we have for tonight, because it's not about how long the show goes. It's about the quality of the show. So we're going to honor that, and we're going to wrap up. This is Mary Fain Brandt with the LinkedIn Bakery, serving up bite-sized tips so you don't get overwhelmed. Bye, everyone.